Good morning, Warren County. I'm your host of the show, Kelly Walker Slaughter. Again, we have some special guests coming on today. First and foremost, we're going to have Jason with the TWRA coming in and talking about upcoming events that they got going on with the turkey hunt that's happening in April, as well as the upcoming class that is coming up here in March, because they always do this a week apart. So, and Jason will explain everything to you how that works shortly after he gets here. Also, too, it is Friday, March the 14th, and it is our part 2 of Isha, the breakdown. And today we're going to talk about, is it a nonprofit or is it a private club? And the reason, and there's no other easy way of saying that. And so when Vanessa gets here, we're going to start breaking down some more things about, like last time we were on the show 2 weeks ago, we talked about, their 990s and their taxes and how they're avoiding they're taking advantage of certain tax breaks. And so this episode coming up, we're going to break down, how can they, I guess, take these tax breaks, especially when the fact of the matter, they own a lot of properties here in the Warren County area. And we want to break that down for you. So if there's any questions that you have, please let us know. But right now, as we always start the show, it is time to do our weather. And our weather sponsor is our community weather sponsor is by Reddick Brown Ford. And so with that said, currently in downtown McMinnville, it is 63 degrees. It does feel like 56 outside, but the high today, it's supposed to be up to 75 degrees. Now low tonight at 53. As I'm looking outside, we had rain come through. I don't see any bad weather happening as of today. It looks like it has pushed to Saturday and Sunday. We do have a 90% chance of rain on Saturday and an 80% chance of rain on Sunday. But again, sunny conditions are expected around 12 o'clock today at its highest point. The lowest feels like temperatures of 53 around 7 a.m. this morning. So the lowest that you felt was this morning. So again, thanks to Reddick Brown Ford for being our community weather sponsors. And again, as I'm trying to mess with everything. Yes, Brian is not here today. Say a little prayer for him. It was a late last night as we were there. If you did not see the video of the Warren County Republican Party, as we're wrapping that up, and again, you can see all our notes and details in the our newsletter for the local voice. We're going to talk all about that. But congratulations. And again, let me say this. Both candidates they have their pros and they have their cons. And they both had, to me, an equal amount of pros. And so I think last night it was a hard vote for a lot of people. That's why I think the vote for Lanisa Bell and Jason Hillis was such a close race for the chair position for the Warren County Republican Party. But as of last night, when they read them off, 93 votes for Bell, 72 votes for Hillis. And through that, Lanisa Bell has regained her seat once again because she was the incumbent for the Warren County Republican Party chair. So Lanisa Bell is going to be this year's chairperson. And then, of course, because she's a female, they had to nominate a co-chair. And Brian Carr took that position. The treasurer was Miss Dotson. Vice treasurer was Ware. And the secretary was Parton. And pretty much everybody that was on the board before got revoted in again. And what I took away from that and asking comments from people last night, and I think this is what got Bell the votes at the end, was a lot of people commented saying that, ever since she took over for when Mr. Stotts left, the Republican Party has gotten better. We're moving forward, not backwards. And the only thing that was maybe a stigma for Miss Bell was the undisclosed lawsuit that did happen, or that didn't, I should say, happen. She did explain all that, and you can see it in the video as she did it in her 3-minute speech to make some clarifications. And I'm not a lawyer, But the way I took that last night was that because she was going to present it to the Republican Party, but legal wise, she wasn't allowed to bring it up until I guess it hit a certain point where they're like, okay, we're going to go forward, or Stacey Harvey and them are going to go forward this. So before the Warren County Republican Party can sign off, we need to do a vote. But it didn't have to get to that point because the clarification of what we can do now as a Republican Party to support our Republican folks in the upcoming elections, we can do that now. So there was clarification, so it didn't have to go to the court. Hold on one second. One of my guests is here. Jason, if you just want to sit over there, I'll holler for you in a second. So with that said, if anybody, good morning, Miss Tina. Happy Friday to you as well. If you need a fresh cup of coffee, make sure you check out our coffee. You can't miss it. And then you get always a sweet conversation with her as well. But going back to last night, I think it was very well done. It was a huge participation. I was proud of the Republican Party showing up and showing out and voting, because that is what it's all about. It's a privilege to vote, and I never want to lose that privilege. And even the state people that came, the gentleman mentioned, he said this was an outstanding turnout. He said the other day he went to another county and they had 1,500 people show up for that vote. So at the end of the day, I don't think that Lanisa and Jason should feel, I know Lanisa's probably, feeling like a little bit relieved now, and Jason too, feeling a little relieved after the vote last night. But now everybody can just ease their mind and we can move forward and try to make they can try to make the Warren County Republican Party, better and keep moving forward. So if anybody does have any questions about that, I will also say to Penny Medley and to Sharon Walker and everybody that asked for clarification next time. And again, some people got confused, like they needed to come at 6:00 to vote, which 6:00 does start the voting, but you had to come between 5 and 6, whether you were pre-registered or not, to get your wristband. Everybody got a wristband to certify you that you're a bona fide Republican, so you can be able to vote. And then, but next time, there's going to be a little bit more clarification. I talked with Lanisa Bell last night and the board that next time that they promote it, they need to clarify it a little bit better, or a whole lot better, because a lot of people did get turned down last night because of the 6:00 shutdown. Like after 6, nobody else was taken. And I know Jackie Matheny Jr. was manning that line last night. And so I do want to say a shout out to our law enforcement that came and, just in case, you never know. You just never know. But we are going to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsors. And coming up next, I'm going to have Jason with the TWRA talking about their upcoming events for March and for April.
Located at 601 Beersheba Highway, McMinnville, or give them a call at 474-1776. At Our Coffee, we pour love into every cup of coffee we serve. Welcome to Our Coffee Drive-Thru, located at 601 Beersheba Highway, McMinnville.
Don't know what to eat? Have you tried Cumberland Biscuit Company or Tops Frozen Yogurt and Metro Deli? Down on Main, you can enjoy pizzas and sandwiches, weekly combo specials, soups, salads, and finish it up with Tops Frozen Treats. On the weekends, check out Cumberland Biscuit Company's unique dishes like the Twisted Goat Burger or the Bambushka Burger. For lunch or dinner, get the experience of going out of town right here in McMinnville, down on Main. Follow Tops and Cumberland Biscuit Company on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
When you need help with your medical needs, who are you going to call? At Stacy's Wellness Pharmacy, you're not just a number, you're a part of our community. When you call Stacy's Wellness Pharmacy, you'll get a live person to help answer your medical questions. In a hurry? Try our convenient drive-thru. Not able to get out? We offer free delivery within the city limits. Stacy specializes in Mr. Stewart's over-the-counter and prescription cough syrups. Need to transfer your prescriptions? It's no trouble to transfer to Stacy's, where people care and wellness matters. Stacy's Wellness Pharmacy is located at 485 North Chancery Street, or give them a call at 474-0600.
Visit Randall Walker Farms at 8240 Manchester Highway in Morrison, Tennessee. From fresh plants to seasonal favorites, we have everything you need to beautify your home or project this fall. Available for both retail and wholesale. Looking for something sweet? Don't miss out on our delicious frozen blueberries. Stop by and see us 6 days a week, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. For more information, call 931-635-9535 or email rwalkerfarms@benlomond.net. Get ready for fall with Randall Walker Farms, where fall planning begins.
We'll find out.
Or you can always be ready. Good morning, Warren County. You're hanging out with Kelly Ray, host of the show, Warren First 931. And as promised, I have this nice young gentleman here with me today. It's Jason with the TWRA. And they got a couple events coming up. And we've done this. This is several years now, whether it was with the radio and now through my podcast.
Right.
And the first thing that's coming up in March is the hunter safety education class, right?
Correct. Yes.
So tell everybody about it and go from there.
Okay. So anyone born on or after January 1st, 1989 or 1969,
Okay.
must show proof of hunter education if we check them in their hunting. So they've
Okay.
got to have completed a hunter education course, and that's required once they turn 10 years old.
Okay.
So once they turn 10, they've got to have that proof of hunter education.
Right.
So we try to put on several classes each year. It's also offered online if they decide to do it that route too. But we have one coming up, and it is Saturday, March 29th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Northside Baptist Church, and that's at 1574 Yeager Road here in McMinnville.
Okay.
And they can register online for it on our website.
Yeah.
And if they have any questions, they can contact Pete at 615-339-4704 or myself at 423-839-5975.
And, you know, can you explain why it's important to do this hunter education class? Because this will be my son's first year being able to do the hunter education class, even though, and a lot of people are like, well, my son, which is, you know, I'm going to use my kid as an example. When he was born, we got the already the license, that
Right.
lifetime thing.
Yeah,
and then they're
absolutely.
like, well, if I got this lifetime thing, why do I need this?
Right. So this basically, we teach a bunch of different stuff. We teach you about the different types of weapons, how to use the weapons. We teach hunter safety. I mean, it's all about hunter safety, really, to
Right.
be honest with you. You know,
And they need to know.
yes, absolutely. You know, and it's not just about others' hunter safety. It's your
Yeah.
hunter safety too. And we
Yeah.
cover those laws and why they're there and
Yeah.
in place for that. So we want these individuals to go out into the woods, have a fun time, but have a safe time as well.
Yeah.
And so we cover anything from tree stand safety to gun safety, just all kinds of different
And
stuff.
like what's legal and illegal when it comes to shooting. Because, you know,
Right.
of course, last year Walker was 9 years old, and I had asked Pete a few questions about some turkeys that we saw, and make sure we got the right one or the wrong one. You know, it's all about learning. Can I say that?
Right.
But the other day, I will say, because of how Pete has, how I should say both of you guys have educated him in this. Another day we were on our road, and I'm not telling you where the road we were on because we saw one, and it was massive. It's the biggest turkey I've seen in a long time. And he goes, Mama, you can tell that's a man. He goes, look at it. It's like whatever this piece, he kept calling it, and I don't know what it's called. And he's like, that's it. That tells you it's a man.
Right.
And it was like massive. It wasn't like a thin piece. It was like a
Oh, you're talking about the beard, the turkey
yes,
beard. Yes.
the beard. It was massive. And he's like, well, I know where I'm going when it's April 5th or whenever it's coming up on
Right.
that. But again, is there space limited when you sign up for this? Because I know it goes really quick when we start talking about it.
Right. No, we try to keep it open as much as we can.
Okay.
Anybody. And those that try to register online, that can't get registered online, come on into the class and we'll try to get you registered.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And talking about the turkey, you know, the beard, some hens have beards. Some
That's
hen turkeys
right.
have beards. So this year, like used to in years past, you could harvest a bearded hen. This year you can't.
Oh,
So
okay.
they've taken that out.
Do y'all show the pictures of the difference in like what you said, a harvest hen and a?
We don't have a bearded hen necessarily picture,
Okay.
but we do have like pictures of the male turkey. And,
Gotcha.
you know, you just got to look at their head. You got to know the identifying factors
Yeah.
of a male turkey.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be a little bit more tricky this year because, you know, when you see that beard, you get
Yes.
excited. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Oh, trust me, my son is like beard.
Yeah.
You see it.
Yeah.
But again, I think this is a great opportunity, and I do believe, you know, living in the great state of Tennessee, I think hunter education, gun safety is very important because we want,
Absolutely.
if you are a hunter family, you want to teach your kids the right and wrong way of
Yes.
handling a gun and all that. And then after this event on April, is it the 5th?
April 5th.
April the 5th.
Yes.
It is the big event that we have used. Again, if you have a kid that loves nature and loves hunting, this youth turkey event is something they need to do.
Absolutely. I encourage people that, if your kid is old enough, it's for youth ages 6 through 16 years of age.
Yeah.
If they're old enough to participate in that juvenile season on that opening day, sign them up for this event and bring them to it because it's so much fun. All the kids have a good time. This year, it's going to be on April 5th this year at Northside Baptist Church. So basically, you can pre-register for the event at Foghouse Firearms.
Okay.
Make sure you do that first. And then on the day of the event, you just wake up, you go hunting, wherever you go hunting at, just be back at Northside Baptist Church by 12 noon.
I was going to say, was it 11 or 12? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's 12 noon. We're going to have lunch provided for everybody. Every kid gets a prize, whether they kill a turkey or not. If you kill a turkey, we encourage you to bring it in, let us weigh it and stuff like that. Sometimes we decide how to give a prize for the biggest turkey killed. But there's also going to be a calling contest this year.
Oh, that's new.
For the kids to participate in if they choose to. And that's on the sign-up sheet as well. If you want your kid to participate in that, if they want to participate, you can mark that. And all the stuff that the different calls are on there.
Okay. I was going to say, and we're doing the calls. Are we talking about the machines that you can get, or they actually make it with their mouth?
Well, they can use different calls, box calls.
Because we have we have the ones in the hand.
They can use that. If they can make the noise with their mouth, which some people can really well, then they're welcome to do that as well. So just however
this is very interesting.
It's gonna.
We may have to be going live that day.
It's gonna be really neat. It's gonna be a good time. And there are some stipulations to they've got to go with an adult that's age 21 years or older. That's a non-hunting adult.
They can't go by themselves, obviously.
Right. And that adult must remain in position to take immediate control of the farm if they need to.
Yeah.
So license and hunter education requirements apply because some of these kids, once you turn 13, you're required to have a license. Once you turn 10, you're required to have the hunter education. Right. So make sure you have all that stuff that you need. Yes, correct.
And then another question somebody asked me last year, but I just waited till this year. If somebody is new to town and they don't know necessarily where to go, can they also call you guys and be like, where's some good turkey places to go hunt?
Absolutely. Now we can't, it's all private land here in Warren County. We can tell them areas to look, but they have to get permission from that landowner to hunt that property. We cannot give them that permission.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they would have to get that. But absolutely, I mean, we're glad to help out any way we can, and they can give myself or Pete a call at those same numbers, if they have any questions about it. So I
love it. And I will say, I feel like every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Is there a limit this year?
We're trying to do 60 kids this year.
Is the goal?
Is the goal. Yes, that's what we're hoping to get. And it's like you said, in years past, it's grown more and more, and we're starting to see new kids come into it. As some of the kids get too old to do it, we're seeing new hunters. Some of them are their younger brothers and sisters, so it's really cool to see them come, a new generation coming through.
And by the way, this is not just this youth turkey hunt's not just for boys and young adults. This is for you two girls and young girls out there that are I should say young ladies that like hunting and stuff. Because I think if anything, there might be at least, I think last year I saw 2, maybe 3 girls that showed up and showed out for sure.
Oh yeah.
And again, I want to see that female population get bigger because there is a lot more female hunters out there.
Absolutely.
They just don't come to stuff like this, and I think you should. So mark your calendars, ladies.
Yes, absolutely.
I would have done it if I knew about it when I was 6 through 16.
Yes,
because our parents did that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a fun time. Like everybody gets to tell their stories. And, it's a lot of camaraderie. And we've actually had girls win the biggest turkey before.
That's right.
So,
and I know Pete's girls have done it before.
Yes, absolutely.
One lady said, Destiny Sarario, my girls are interested. I'm so glad I tuned in this morning.
Awesome. Great.
See?
Great. Good deal.
I love it.
Well, get them over to Foghouse Farms and get them signed up. But they must meet those age requirements, ages 6 through 16. That's a state mandate.
And where is Foghouse Farms located at?
1328 Smithville Highway here in McMinnville. It's behind McDonald's.
Okay.
Right there. If you know where I'm talking about, that little mall right there behind McDonald's, it's right there.
All right. Awesome. Well, anything else before I let you go?
No, I think that's about covered.
Okay. Do I get to keep your magazine and paper again?
You absolutely can. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yes, I need that so I can do it for next week. But guys, if you guys have any more questions, you can give Jason a call at
423-839-5975.
Or if you want to harass Pete because he was a no-show today, because he was tied up, you can call him at what time?
615-339-4704. And can I say happy birthday to my mom right
quick?
Yes,
you can.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Mom. Hope you have a great day.
What's her name?
Her name is Beverly Ramsey.
Oh, shout out to Miss Beverly this morning. Is she watching you?
I don't know.
Oh, well, okay. Well, happy birthday, Mom. You have made such a young, nice gentleman right here. You've raised him right. With that, guys, we are going to come back and do our part 2 of the Isha breakdown. Vanessa has just graced the studios, but we are going to get a quick word from our sponsors first. But remember, keep it first.
1964 to start Ganton Bolden. Now it's Gateway Tire and Service Center. He wanted our customers to have the best products and service at a fair price. That was his motto then, and that still stands today. We promise to be upfront and honest with each and every customer. We'll never try to sell something that our customers doesn't need just to make a buck. If that's what makes us different from our competitors, well, we're just fine with that. Come see us today or give us a call at 931-815-9000.
Looking to transform your home? Head over here to Roland Renovations at North Chancery Street in McMinnville. From stunning cabinets and beautiful countertops to durable LVP and hardwood flooring, we've got everything you need. Want to upgrade your bathroom? Check out our amazing shower systems and our stylish shower doors. Here at Roland Renovations, we also specialize in outdoor cabinetry, tile work, full remodels, and installation services. Stop by or call us at 931-743-5479 today. We are open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are closed on Wednesday and Saturday. We are open for appointments only. Don't wait. Revamp your space with us here at Roland Renovations.
Community Network Productions takes you inside each community with local interest stories, local music artists, and information.
With each show, the focus is the people and our beautiful community. With our creative team, we customize unique show ideas with our friends in the community. Our focus is you.
See each of our shows on all social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and at our website at www.communitytvtn.com.
Are you ready for your new Ford? Hi, this is Chris at Reddick Brown Ford in Morrison, inviting you to come and visit our dealership with special finance rates on that special Ford truck, Bronco, or SUV that you have been looking for. Plus a great assortment of pre-owned inventory. We are proud to be part of the local community here in Warren County and now offer complimentary pickup and delivery for service. Your Pioneer Sports Ford headquarters, Reddick Brown Ford, Manchester Highway, Morrison. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Oh, all right. Let's just get into it. Right now, currently in downtown McMinnville, we are at 63 degrees. Remember, there is going to be sunny skies today, and the high today is going to be 76 in downtown McMinnville. And don't forget that because of all that bad storm last night, it's kind of pushed the rain, guys, into Saturday and Sunday because we do have 90 to 80% chance of rain for this weekend. But it is what it is. Living in the nursery county of the world, as I call it, we need the rain. So, but with that said, I have with me now the lovely, the talented Vanessa Miller. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Scoot in a little bit.
Oh, you're gracious.
Let's bump in. Let's bump in.
All right, I'll get close to you.
So we should be able to hear each other today, guys. There should be no issue on communication. And before I forget, I know I forgot to hit that button, so now I can hit that one. But today is our part 2 of the Isha breakdown, and we're calling it, is it a nonprofit or is it a private club? I mean, and again, I want to reiterate what we a little bit kind of the stuff we talked about last Friday or 2 Fridays ago show. First and foremost, we want everybody to know, because me and Vanessa talked about this yesterday, we are not trying to bash Isha or bring Isha, down in a negative light. We are trying to understand Isha, and just we want to know, like, who are they serving? Where's the money going? Things like that. Because living in Warren County like we do, when we started looking into this, we just can't find where they're supporting our community and our county. And I will tell you this from my mouth, if I knew that they were properly giving the correct amount of taxes that Warren County, and I have to also say, if they're not doing it here, I want to say Van Buren, Grundy, and Sequatchie, nothing would probably be an issue right now, in my mind. But with that said, I also want to say, because we've had a lot of, with good comes bad, and I call it the backlash. We want everybody to know that we know there are good people on the mountain, and that they wish no ill will towards anybody, and they're all about peace, love, and all that stuff, and just want to yoga, stretch, and meditate, and have a well-balanced life, and just like what the yoga science of inner science is teaching them. But go ahead.
I would love to clarify to the people of Warren County, this has nothing to do with race, religion, or cultural difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I think there are wonderful people living at Isha. I think they are bringing wonderful people into this community. My problem was, and I would love for Sanguru to come down and talk with us, Kelly. I'm not interested in learning about his philosophies or being a part of his program, but I would like to ask him, why did you choose to become a 501c3?
Yeah.
He is obviously an excellent entrepreneur.
100%.
He's fantastic at making money.
Yeah.
So, like every other local business owner and entrepreneur, operate with a business license rather than a tax classification.
Correct.
So I do want it to be very clear, absolutely nothing to do with race, religion, or cultural difference.
No.
This is all about the abuse of the United States tax code. It is about the abuse of U.S. federal grants and the misappropriation of funds. The organization opened themselves up to public review by choosing that tax classification.
Correct.
So it should come as no surprise to them that there are questions. And I would love for them to answer our questions regarding their tax status and what their tax forms reflect that they do with the money. So, I love our community and I love people coming here, but let's operate fairly.
I agree 100%. And, when we were looking things up for this next round about, we need clarity. Can I just say that? It's over and over, just some clarity. I don't think that we're in any harm's way or anything like that. I'm not in fear of anything.
No.
But with that said, when we talk about a private club or a nonprofit, we're talking about what they're doing up there. As of right now, when one thing that we did was we Googled on TripAdvisor. And so I did that, and I wanted everybody to know this. Now, of course, and I'm going to pull this up because I want to really read what the TripAdvisor description is, because I think this is going to help clarify what we're talking about today. So when you look up Isha, if you just type in the word Isha on TripAdvisor, there is multitudes of different types of Isha institutes, and it's all in the same. And I want everybody to know they're all in the same family, whether it's in Mexico, India, Canada, Florida, and here. And you can just go in. And Isha has created shops like silk shops and henna tattoos, and it's like a wide range of different places. But then when I think about the tourism and how they're bringing so many people up onto their property for, some spiritual guidance or some yoga sessions or a peaceful retreat, I'm like, where's that tourism dollars going? Because they have been here for quite some time. Well, back in 2019, as far as it go, or not 29, back to 2012, 2013, they got on the TripAdvisor website. And when you Google them for the McMinnville location, it's called Isha USA, not Isha, the Institute of Inner Science, Isha USA. And they are listed not as a wellness and spiritual place. It is listed as a spa and wellness. Okay, go ahead.
And since we're discussing clarity, I want to point out, like you just said, that they are listed as a spa and wellness center and that they offer services like that. Now, our local businesses that offer spa services pay something called sales and use tax. According to the tax records, it does not appear that Isha pays sales and use taxes on their services like weekend retreats, yoga. And so I'm not sure where the fairness is in that. And I want to clarify, Isha is not a religious organization. The IRS 501c3 code has subcategories.
They do.
And each organization that applies has to fit into one of those categories.
Right.
Isha's category per the IRS.
And this is all public information.
Yes, please don't take my word for this, folks. I'm just a concerned citizen. Everything I'm sharing with you is public record, and you have the right to review it with your own eyes. But according to the IRS tax code and the IRS website, Isha Foundation operates under the charitable classification of forest conservation, international relief, and health treatment. So there it leads me to several questions, and I'm sure it does some of your listeners. I know you and I have discussed this.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And while we're on this topic, quickly, I want to clarify something else.
Okay.
I think Isha has been wonderful about using some of our other news sources, and I encourage everyone in the
100%.
county to use all the news sources. The more information we have, the better off we all are.
Yes.
But something that has been said over and over again is the property taxes.
Yes.
And I want to clarify that Isha does pay some property taxes in Warren County.
Yes.
But the assessed value of the property that they are exempt from paying taxes on,
which means they do not pay.
No, ma'am. No.
You're correct, Kelly. I'm going to be the simplifier. You go ahead. You go ahead.
I get a little tied up with my big words. So Isha does not pay property taxes on the assessed property of $15,199,700. This came from our local government offices and from title searches.
Yes.
Now, what I will tell you is if, may I use Walker Farms?
Yes, you can.
If a local business such as Walker Farms owned that much assessed property,
that's correct,
they would pay the county $299,084 in yearly property taxes.
Correct.
So we are losing $300,000 a year just in property taxes,
right,
because of their classification.
Correct. And if we did tax them on this, just so everybody knows, because we are hearing from the government and things like that, if they don't like this number, they can go to the state and appeal this amount and get it even lowered more. I don't know how much more, because of their their 501c3. They figure out a way.
Well, that.
Yeah, I just want to say that.
Yes.
Because a lot of people wanted to know how they get their tax cuts.
Clarification on that, I would say, is we all have the right to appeal our assessment of property.
Yeah.
we have a property assessor that is very diligent in her job, and she has made sure to physically visit Isha Foundation and assess their property. And in doing so, she has taken it to the higher court multiple times to ensure that we're getting everything that we can. What happens sometimes is at the state level, it gets turned over or they give some of it back. At the current rate, the 15,200,000 we'll say is not being taxed because they claim it is used for their services, which would be forest conservation, international relief, and health treatment. My question is, where are you doing those, and what does $15 million worth of property in Warren County have to do with international relief?
Correct.
So I just have questions, Kelly.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at anybody. No. I'm just following the numbers as we've discussed.
We just follow the numbers. And so going back to Isha USA, as they call it on the TripAdvisor, again, we're trying to break down, is it a bit, and we go back to this, is it a business that's creating wealth, or is it a nonprofit that's really helping out the communities that they serve? And that's how I say it, because Warren First is a business. It is not a nonprofit. Before I go into this, I could have set this up as a nonprofit, but I chose not to, because this is a service I'm doing for you guys. And as a business, I only make enough money just to turn the lights on, okay, and pay the internet bill, okay, and to, make sure if my computer goes bad or something like that, or to pay for the paper for the newsletters. So with that said, I am a business, and I am doing this to serve the Warren County community. That is clarified. But with that said, Isha USA, which is located in McMinnville, it says here's what it's about. The Isha Institute of Inner Science is a breathtaking Upper Cumberland retreat offering stress relief, wellness retreats, and outdoor recreation just 45 minutes northwest of Chattanooga and 2 hours southeast of Nashville. The center is a world-class yoga center featuring programs in classical, and again, it's different types of yoga is what I'm going to skip through that because it's a lot of words I cannot pronounce. And they also offer meditation classes for beginners to advanced levels. A guided tour is always offered at 11 a.m. daily, followed by several complimentary yoga sessions between 12:15 and 3 p.m. daily. Hikes to one of many beautiful bluffs or valley waterfalls are available to the public without a fee. You can bring a buddy. The Institute requires hiking in groups of 2 adults or more. Make sure to visit, and it's the yoga meditation hall. It's a powerful, energized form inside, and a bud heightens the atmosphere for effortless meditation. Longer visits include lodging and vegetarian buffet meals for a fee. The Institute is a non-alcoholic, non-smoking, drug-free, pet-free campus. Now, as I have read that, as a Warren Countyan, if you've decided to move here to Warren County, Sequatchie, Grundy, and Van Buren, why did not you promote the businesses of these counties as well in here? Why are you just promoting, and this, when I read that, this is how I felt, you're only promoting Nashville and Chattanooga. You're only promoting these 2 places. If you really wanted to be a part of the communities that you are sitting in the middle of, why didn't you put us in there? You could have said that too, and I would have said nothing, oh my gosh, this is so great. And then the other thing we've been talking about is it's a nonprofit. Well, as I read this as somebody on the outside, I'm paying a fee just like if I was going to a hotel, a golf course, a spa. It doesn't say make a donation. Now, with that said, as we get on with that, because I think I kept it up. Hopefully I didn't shut it down, but I may have on my Google Docs. We had people, we went on the TripAdvisory reviews, and I may have to pull this up in a minute and go back to this later. But in the reviews, because I'm going to read them verbatim for you, it talks about how some people got their trip got canceled from Isha because they didn't meet the requirements of the certain yoga classes and meditation classes. They only had it was called the AL, and you remember what I'm talking about when we read that yesterday.
Yes.
And so they denied him after he said numerous times trying to get back with them with the institute, and so they denied him from coming his trip. And he was stuck in Nashville, and he had 4 days to figure out what to do and try to get back home or so forth. And again, I had positive reviews and negative reviews, and we can come back and talk about that in a few minutes. But again, if you are a come and go as you please and things like that, then why couldn't this person go? And another review I read said that when they came, they thought they could go to a certain class, but they couldn't because they didn't meet the requirements for this certain yoga class. And then they had to pay another fee to be certified.
Right. Kelly, that concerns me as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is hearsay and people's opinion. And I would encourage your listeners to go online and read those reviews. There does seem to be a history of them not treating possible customers, possible, I'm not sure what you would call them since they shouldn't be customers, but visitors properly. But that brings me to my next thing. I got to thinking about Isha and other self-help gurus in the United States. So I began comparing Tony Robbins to Sadhguru. And Tony Robbins offers many of the same services, self-help, promotional seminars, and he operates as a for-profit business.
Oh, okay.
So I began further researching the levels that the inner engineering course offers.
Yeah.
And it is very, you pay for each level that you complete.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is an opportunity to apply for scholarships,
okay.
But you are paying for a service that does not serve the greater good.
Right.
You are paying us for a service that makes you a better person.
Right.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
But like Tony Robbins pays his tax,
right.
Sadhguru should pay his tax as well.
Right.
And so my question again becomes, are you abusing our tax code to build financial wealth? And his tax filings seem to support that.
Yeah.
The normal charity gives 65 to 80% of or more of their income to their charity. Some fun numbers for you is in 2022, Isha's revenue was $40,666,000.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry, $666,829.
Golly.
This number came from their IRS form.
Yeah.
They donated $3,822,000. So that means that they barely donated 10% of their income to the charities that they support.
Yeah.
Their IRS form further reflects, and I'll be happy to share these documents, Kelly and I will, with anyone. On their 2022 tax filings, they donated $1,034 to domestic charities.
Oh, 1,000, you say?
Yes. And let's see, 65% of their annual income would have been $26 million.
Wow.
But they only donated $3 million. And out of that $3,822,000, only $1,034 of it stayed in the United States, which brings me to another huge concern.
Next question,
They receive federal and private grants. The private grants are none of our business. The federal grants are our business.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about the rest of you wonderful Warren Countyans, but I want our federal grant dollars. It's okay if they go internationally, but we want to know where they're going internationally. And we want the majority of the money staying in our country and helping the causes that they should.
And to simplify that for me, to make it understand for me, if you get American dollars, the American dollars need to, most of it or some of it, or at least more than half of it, need to go back into the American funds so it can help other nonprofits out. Because to me, as a nonprofit, I want to help out everybody. Me and Vanessa, huge philanthropists, and there's no telling how many nonprofits you've touched or helped.
Let me clarify. I touch them with time because my pockets aren't that deep.
Right.
Yes,
but you know,
but
when we hear that, you know, whether it's Families in Crisis or Relay for Life or Caring Hearts United or Special Games or, you know, and I also have to say Special Olympics, all of them, we have a lot of organizations just in the Warren County community that struggle on a daily basis. The Warren County Senior Center, it's just, they're picking up with me, that could help with funds, not just with time, but with money and the donations. And when I say Warren County, when people need help, whether it's to volunteer hours to watch somebody or take somebody to school, whether it's transportation, utilities, or to help pay medical bills, the community has always provided.
Absolutely.
And when I hear that we're struggling to help out our nonprofits, and it's been like a bad year or something, right? And then I hear that a nonprofit that sits on, let me say, is it 10,000 acres?
Mm-hmm. In Warren County.
In Warren County, Isha is sitting on 10,000 acres of Warren County, and they're making this amount on the Warren County side. I'm telling you, I'm like, why aren't you helping us?
Well,
that's me, you know.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, I agree with you, Kelly. We would be outraged if, okay, I'm going to use one of my favorite charities. If Meals on Wheels of Warren County got a federal grant for $10,000 and we sent that $10,000 to Davidson County, how would you feel about that, listeners?
Right.
And how do you feel about this? Their tax forms also show that they have $30 million of cash distributed among various banks in CDs, savings accounts, and checking accounts.
Yes.
Again, if they were a private business, this would be none of our business.
None.
And hey, great job, buddy. You're doing well with your business plan. And so when a nonprofit has $20 million in savings and has assets totaling $102 million, and they're only donating $1,000 domestically, that raises questions for me.
Right.
And again, to me, this sounds very much like an excellent business plan. His business is thriving.
Right.
I would encourage them to get some of that money out of the bank and go over to the courthouse and buy a business license.
Right.
And give up their tax status.
I mean, I think this would all kind of be like put to bed if they did that right there.
Absolutely.
And not only are we helping the Warren County community, because I want to keep saying this over and over, we will be helping out Van Buren, Grundy, and Sequatchie counties. Because, again, we've heard some stories in the Van Buren area and the Grundy area. I haven't gotten into Sequatchie yet, and how they are also battling this battle that we are. And I'm telling you guys, we have gotten, just like Angel said, I agree, we need to do something about this. If you are just as confused as we are, and all we want is clarification and some clarity, you need to do what we are doing. You need to reach out to your state officials. You need to, the State Board of the Equalization. You can call them at 615-401-7907. That's just one. And then reach out to your state officials, Trey Hargett, Marsha Blackburn, Janice Boland, Paul Sherrill, Bill Lee, like all of these people, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and I understand, and I told this to Vanessa yesterday, I am the most impatient person when it comes to government stuff, but I understand that government is a slow process. So if you see the confusion that we do, and to get them a true audit, because when I saw the documentations on their audits, when it was done independently, which I want to clarify because I talked to some of my nonprofit friends, a 501c3 normally gets an independent one.
Absolutely.
That is a normal thing. But not once did I see that the states have come in and done audits. Didn't see those. And so I think it's now time for mommy and daddy to call mom and dad and say, hey, cousin Isha over here, you need to go talk to them. And I think it's time for us to go and talk with our state legislators and talk to like the State Board of Equalization, call the comptrollers. Gosh, there's so many, and just call them once a week to make sure like this is a situation we want you to take care of as soon as possible.
Absolutely. It's 501c3s are pretty much governed by the public.
Correct.
And so when the public finds a problem or a concern, the Secretary of State and various other offices the comptroller's office would actually be in charge of the audit, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I may have misspoke here, but I'm pretty sure our comptroller's office is in charge of the audit. Our Secretary of State, Trey Hargett, can put pressure on them to complete this. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Isha could, in fact, do a private audit and share it with the public as well,
right?
Which I have not seen them do.
No.
And I will share real quick, Kelly, in the article for next week, I did share all the emails and phone numbers of who you can contact.
Yes.
I shared the links where you can fill out a form and say that you have a concern about this 501c3. And again, this has nothing to do with the people.
Yeah,
this
reiterating.
has nothing to do with religion. This has to do with a businessman abusing our tax code and taking advantage of our small town.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes to me and says, hey, we misfiled. We really gave
my bad
$10 million in America.
Yeah.
And then I'll be happy to apologize. But,
publicly, because again, I've always said it and she said it. If I've said something wrong, like check yourself, I will do a public apology.
Absolutely. But this should really concern you as a citizen for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
The biggest one being that a businessman is abusing the tax code and taking advantage of our small town.
That's what it feels like.
He's just not making his fair contributions to this economy.
No. And I will say, not when she says the economy, the whole United States.
Absolutely.
And you also got to think about with them taking advantage of the grants. How many more people could have used that for maybe a mom that just got a domestic violence situation and she needs a car and a home for her kids? You're taking it, and if you're preaching about love, peace, and helping out people's well-being, why aren't you donating to people's well-being?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense what I'm saying, guys?
And if they are for forest conservation, where are those donations?
And where is the documentation that talks about the forest donations? Because, good, you did print it off. Yeah,
I did print this.
So, you want me to show it while you talk about it? Yeah.
Nonprofits have to show an itemized list of where they disperse their money. This is Isha's. And as you can see, they don't share the name of the organization that they donated to. They don't share the IRS EIN number for the organization or the region. It simply says very generically that the purpose of their grants were education, service, planting trees, and cleaning the planet.
Yeah.
And all of these monies were bank wired. Yeah. I'm going to show you an example of another nonprofit that has about the same budget. This nonprofit also distributed money internationally and domestically. If you will notice, every line item is filled out completely. They name the organization that they donated to. They give the IRS EIN number so that there is a clear trail. This simple form, this Schedule 1 form on their 990, brings many questions to light. And so I would really just like them to answer the questions about their own paperwork. Yeah. These are Isha's numbers.
Yeah.
Isha gave us these numbers.
Yeah.
So where did you wire that $389,000 to plant trees?
Yeah.
And where are those trees planted?
Where are they
I want to know.
Yes.
Are they in India? This part of the form says that these funds went internationally.
Yeah.
So where are we planting trees? I'd like to know.
We would like, and where are we, when you say about a clean planet, when I was Googling, trying to follow the timeline and time frame of this, and you can follow the Sac Guru and the Isha Foundation on various social media website or outlets, guys. And during this time frame on the Clean Planet run, there was he decided to do a Save the Soil campaign. And I was curious, is this, and I don't know if it's the same thing, but it's in the same time frame. And he decided to get on his motorcycle and go to each destination to promote Save the Soil on his fancy motorcycle. And I'm like, well, is this that? I also found an article about planting of the trees where but again, I don't know if this is this. I was telling Vanessa this yesterday. I don't know if it's the same thing,
Right.
But there was a it was a Saving the Planet project in India where they were to help erosion.
Yes.
I need to say that correctly because my husband told me to better say it right. But to help the erosion in certain India communities, there was what happened, and I'm going to break this down slowly because it's a lot. So with these planting of the trees, which I want to say, the planting of the trees was sent. It was $389,509. Now, I don't know if this is it, but let's just say it was it. So if he was helping out this Indian communities and he sent this bank wire to India, and then what I was in this news article, it was stated in the article that not only were all the trees donated to these India communities, but also some family members had to pay for the planting of the trees.
So it appears that trees were donated to Isha and then he sold them to members to plant.
And I don't know if this is, now I want to say this, I don't know if this is the same thing, but I would also like to ask, Jaggy, Saguru, these questions because the timeline is matching up, but I don't know if it's the same thing because like the other nonprofit that discloses the organization, I don't know. So I have to think to myself as I'm putting dots together, is this the same thing? And so again, that's why we say, are you a true nonprofit or a business? And if you are a business, pay up. I don't know how, and again, I'm trying not to be rude of how I'm saying this. And good morning to Retha. She says, hi, Kelly and Vanessa.
Retha.
Yes. And then Valeria said on our social media, she said they need to pay their share of taxes at the end of all this. And then going back to what Junior said, should all 501c3 businesses be looked at more?
Absolutely. But that responsibility falls on us as the citizens.
Yeah.
When you donate to a 501c3, Google their 990.
Yep.
The very first page will show you how much money they receive each year and how much money they distribute and how much money they spend on administrative cost. Yep. That's really the only three things you need to know. And that tells you if they're giving what percentage of their income they're giving back to their mission.
Yes.
That tells you how much they're spending on administrative cost. I donate regularly to Samaritan's Purse. I get on there and Google and make sure that those proportions are as recommended. Yeah. And what they recommend is that a nonprofit give 65% or more, preferably more, of their income to their mission.
Exactly.
And so I would encourage all of you, Red Cross, Meals on Wheels, Relay for Life.
Yes.
If you are a donator, is all you have to do is Google and look at that 990 form. And then if you see a discrepancy, report it.
Yeah.
This has happened with multiple organizations. Years ago, Red Cross got their salaries out of skew.
Right.
Okay. And so their salaries exceeded the acceptable margin.
Right.
They got a lot of flack for it.
They did.
And they had to go back in and readjust.
Right.
So sometimes things happen and a charity might get their numbers a little skewed.
Yeah, it happens. Mistakes happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when a charity is only giving 10%,
barely 10%.
barely
Can we say barely?
of multi-millions, that is concerning.
It is. And, talking about another, because a lot of people brought this up on last week's episode of maybe taxing churches and things like that. So it brings me up to the church in Murfreesboro, and I cannot think of their name right now because they got in trouble a few years back. Oh, Joyce went to it. There was a church in Murfreesboro, and it's one of the biggest churches out there. And they were and of course, churches are 501c3. Well, they had a shop, they had a coffee shop, they had an educational program, and everything was a donation. Well, then the news people got a hold of it, and then they got audited. I just want everybody to know this is how it works. And then because of what they did, they got the restrictions. They said, no, your church can be a nonprofit, your education, but as far as your shop and your coffee shop, you have got to be taxed.
Absolutely.
And so, again, I want everybody to know that there should not be any special treatment when it comes to nonprofits, whether you're a church, whether it's education, religion, and things like that, or forest conservation. And by the way, when we have dived in and we have looked into these things as far as what they are a 501c3, I have not, the only thing I can justify is the health, because they call it the inner science of well-being. But as far as the definition of health, is that doctor health, like, medical?
Which brings us to our whole topic.
Yeah.
Is this a private business or is this a 501c3? Again, look at Tony Robbins. If I pay to go see Tony Robbins speak in Canada next week, Tony Robbins is going to pay tax.
Yeah.
If I go see Sanguru in Canada next week,
yes,
it will be considered a donation.
Yeah.
And my argument is that he is a self-help guru and a private entrepreneur. If he come down here to Main Street and taught all the people on the street with no restrictions and for free and without having to sign contracts to be on his property, that would be a public service.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But you have to pay. There are levels of education that you receive and you must pay for before you move on to the next level.
Correct.
So to me, that sounds like a for-profit business.
It does.
He is marketing a service that he sells to individuals.
Right.
Those services are not available to everyone equally.
No.
And so that makes it...
Right. And that gets what she was saying as far because I did pull it up and I was trying to think of which one it was. Again, there was a lot of on the TripAdvisor, somebody made a mention about, having this, they bought this one package because the value was in their price range. And then an Isha volunteer responded with them. And I was trying to pull that up where they were talking about, they said, well, if you wanted a more private, secluded time, you needed to pay the fee for da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
And so, again, independent. And then a lot of people in the review said if you paid more, you got treated better.
Yes.
And so, again, I'm just saying, there's all this stuff, and this is all public knowledge. You just got to take the time and find it. And another thing that we found out when we talk about, a private club and, the property and how the property is actually ran up there, Isha owns the land. And if you want to build a house on there, you have to sign a contract, doing a lease contract that holds up for Isha for 99 years.
Yes. You basically do a 99-year lease, and you also guarantee that Isha has first right of refusal, which means that you have to offer to let them have the property back. It can't leave their foundation.
Right.
So that's a little unusual.
It is, because if I had a property on Isha, I built my $2 million home. What am I going to do with my house? Does Isha buy it? do I get movers to come and like take parts of the house off the property? Like do you lose your house? And so those are concerns of mine for people that move down here with like an agenda of better well-being. Because when you come to Warren County, we always have said, it's like the Hallmark town. Everybody, now again, pros and cons. Let me tell you, I've lived here all my life. But when new people come, they're like, this is why I moved down here. It's like a Hallmark town. Everybody's so helpful and, they're just so loving and they got that Southern hospitality and, but when they move up here, and a lot of these people that are in these commentaries came up here to visit because of potential moving to Warren County. And then when they get a taste of Isha, they're like, no, absolutely not. And then they go back to Florida or Texas and Colorado. I mean, there's all these things. So again, do I think there's good people on the mountain? Absolutely. But there's a certain private club mystique. I want to say it that way, that goes on with that. So again, I say this like every time. Divine Bond on YouTube, let's just go into this one, says they do not get any federal grants. This is all private donations given by those who want to donate for the cause. They receive donations for the projects that they take on. Vanessa?
I will take that question on.
Yeah.
Miss Bond or Mr. Bond, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You are wrong. They do receive federal and private grants, and they list them on their 990 form.
It's on their 990.
So, and again, the private donations, give him everything you own.
That's
I don't
fine.
care
Yeah.
if you want to pay him $500,000 a year to teach you inner energy.
Yeah.
You absolutely have the right to do that.
Yeah.
But our county should not lose out on those sales and use tax dollars for that service.
And the tourism tax and the hotel tax. Because the way that TripAdvisor explains the rooms, it says it is a hotel on the TripAdvisor as well. Oh, I was seeing if this might be, I don't know who that is. We'll have to wait.
So, yes, they do receive federal grants by their own admission. I would love to see the itemized list. For whatever reason, they don't itemize them on their 990 like most nonprofits do.
And I will also say this to Divine Bond. If you would like us to email you, just message us at 931-369-3050. Text message me your email, and we make sure to send you where it talks about their federal grants.
Absolutely. I'm happy to
We're all
share
about educating.
Yes, we are. And, again, this has nothing to do with race, religion, or yoga.
Yeah.
This has to do with taxation, code, and the abuse of our system.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, I feel like Warren County is being taken advantage of. I feel like that if Sanguru was really concerned about this and wanted to be a part of this community, that he would come right down here and sit with us and explain his philosophy and explain to us why he chose that tax code.
Yeah,
That's
why did he
really
choose
my
McMinnville?
biggest question.
So I would start, why did you choose Warren
McMinnville?
County?
Why did you choose to operate under a 501c3 and open yourself up to this public scrutiny?
Break down the forest conservation, what are you doing, and where's the documentation on all of this?
Absolutely. It's all I'm asking for is transparency and fairness. I love this town, and I love 501c3s. And when someone abuses the nonprofit tax code, they make it more difficult for other nonprofits. They make it more difficult to obtain private donations. People like to give to organizations and know that their money is going where it should be. And in this particular situation, I argue that it is private business. And you are welcome to buy his services, but let's pay the appropriate taxes on him. And if you own property in Isha, I'd love to talk to you. I'm very interested to know why someone would build a home on leased property. I mean, just for my own personal knowledge, I like to build things. I like property. But I don't understand building my home on someone else's property. So if you'd like to enlighten me, I am very much open to information and learning.
And then the next question, Dwayne Ramsey says, because we are transparent here, we answer any and all questions. My question is, why did it take you young ladies, thank you for that comment, to dig this out? Why isn't the county elects to do a deep dive a few years after all this has started?
Oh, can I answer that?
Yes, you can.
Dwayne, fantastic question. And I'm going to come back to this.
Yes.
A lot of times with nonprofits, the responsibility falls on the citizens. And so once we started diving into this, we have found out that our local tax assessor has been doing everything in her power to ensure that Isha was paying their fair share of taxes. Our local county executive has been doing everything within his power. You know, we have rights in place to protect us. And none of us just want the county or an elected official to be able to come in and shut us down.
Right.
So the proper wheels have to turn. Maybe the wheels aren't turning as fast as we like. And for whatever reason, this has been put on Kelly and my hearts.
Yeah, and that's all that it is. Like,
it's on our hearts. I don't work for Kelly. I am simply a citizen of the United States, a Warren County hometown girl that likes things to be right.
Yeah.
And I don't like people to take advantage of us. I don't like people to take advantage of our tax code. And so that's how we've gotten involved, because we want to bring it to the citizens so you all can put pressure on the appropriate elected officials at the state and federal level to have them audited. But I do want you to know that your county officials, your property assessor and your county executive have been doing everything within their power. Your, you know,
Register of Deeds, every of your elected officials are doing what they can within their power.
Absolutely.
And again, the only reason that we know of this is because we've been diving in and we needed to know questions, and they've reassured us that they have done everything they can. And I really truly do feel that. And so it's up to us, like she said, to call Marsha Blackburn, Trey Hargett, like we've talked.
Senator Haggerty, not to cut you off there.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
And so I do want you all to be aware that your county officials are doing what they they can. The more pressure we put on them, the more pressure they can put on the powers that be above them.
Yeah.
And we do need those auditors to come up here. We need the comptroller's office to walk that property, to inspect those buildings, and to see what they're really doing. So Dwayne, thanks for that shout out.
Yeah, and he said, awesome. Thank you for the clarity, because we are all about transparency here. And I want to say Christy Ross said, Vanessa, you're hitting the nail on the head. And then a John Davis that's listening to us on YouTube this morning, he says, I can give you some more info now. So what do you mean?
Do you want to elaborate, or please contact us privately? You can reach out to Kelly. You can reach out to me.
Text us at 93. If you want to get on the show right now, you can text me. If that's what you want to do, text me first, and then I'll call you at 931-369-3050. And if that was you that called earlier with the 369 number on my end, sorry, I didn't know. I always wait to see who they are. But yes, Mr. Davis, if you want to share some information, and again, we all are here just to talk like adults.
Absolutely.
I don't want, if you have any ill will towards Isha or because of their teachings and their practices, we do not need to talk about that. We want to just talk about the facts.
Absolutely. This is not about feelings. That happens too often in our culture today. We all have feelings, and we are all passionate about things. I have some very strong feelings about a lot of things, but I want to talk about the facts. I want to talk about the reporting. The other things are out there. But our goal is to bring the facts to you and let you all decide what you think. because I believe that all the citizens of Warren County are smart enough to take the facts and come up with their own opinions.
Well, with that said, actually, one people that we have been closely talking to, he says that he's ready to talk. Do you want to do it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So with me, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because he was one that has been truly grateful.
Hello.
Hey, Jay, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Your show is done or still going on?
It is still going on. We have so many questions. So, first off, tell everybody who you are and how you are a part of it, or how you were a part of Isha.
Okay, sure. I will tell you now. Am I live now or?
You are live, Jay.
You're live. You're on.
Okay, yeah. My name is Jay Kantan Sankaradas. But that's my full name, but I like to make it easier. My name is, I just give it a short name, Jay. Jay as John. So I've been with this foundation run by Chagi Vasudev. It is 21 years I've been following him, and it is a classic cult, which I came to know recently, that my stepdaughter got raped back in 2008 in Isha Home School, and she didn't tell us about that. So in 2013, I want to put my second daughter, which is my biological daughter, and she was so agitated, my older daughter. So I was telling her why it is happening, why you are saying it is, you said you like it and everything. So she said somebody did a bad touch and I ran from that place. So immediately my daughter called. The person name is Senthil. He's right there in McMinnville. And he said, I'll talk to Jaggi. And he said that my daughter has to go through an inner engineering program. So the first question come to my mind is, and my wife's mind is, the kid should be 15 years old. But actually, my daughter was told, and they said, you can do it. So we asked, well, how can she do it? They said, no, she studied in Isha Home School in Coimbatore, India, that she can do it in 12 itself. Actually, this process is completely a hypnosis, where all the people who go to this foundation leave their wealth and then become a volunteer. And their life is crude. My personal thing is, he asked me to divorce my wife, saying that we born to realize God. The same guy only, married us back in 2006 in Atlanta, Georgia. I have the video of this Jaggi. He's a very bad person. I'm very upset right now. I don't know what to say.
You're okay.
So my daughter told in November 2023, saying that she got raped to her aunt after she got graduated in college. And she's told, don't tell mom and dad. That's the reason I go through this trauma, going through therapy. Please don't tell them. They'll feel bad. And she shared this experience because why you don't have a boyfriend? You are 23 now. You should have a boyfriend. You got a job. You finished your degree. So you should have a boyfriend. So she expressed this, that she got raped. And any man come closer, I got irritated. So right away, she told my wife, and my wife right away called again. Second time, which she called to PA, Senthil Kanniyappan. And he said, your husband is a stepfather, he might did it. Nobody in the Isha Home School do that kind of work. So he blamed on me. And then after a week later, child support protection service come to my home in Chattanooga. And they said that I am molesting my second daughter, who is a biological daughter. My wife got very upset. So who said this? They said, you might go and threaten them. So we don't give that information, but it got initiated in Warren County. So I don't know anybody in Warren County because I live in McMinnville, inside there, Isha village.
Yeah.
But in Isha village, I don't know anybody who can complain on me. It's a gated community and I live inside. Neither my daughter complained, none of my friends will do that. Because we are telling that world peace and this and that, but it's a classic cult. It's a cult is a person who does a charismatic leader who does things which is above the law. He never obeys any country law. Same like in India or US, any law, there is no law. It is what he says, that's law. Yeah. They do a lot of financial frauds. And, he asked my wife to divorce and all that, and we got divorced. So if you see that, he separated my wife and myself, and he blamed me that I molested my own daughter. Yeah. And within a week, he put a cease and desist that he violated Isha rule. My own home, I cannot do Airbnb. So my attorney doesn't even know what is this cease and desist itself. So he contacted his lawyer in Dunlap, Austin, some law firm. They said that you have to take down Airbnb. In this country, I am a US citizen. We all are US citizens. How dare you can do this? Yeah. What the citizen of people are doing it in this place, I don't understand, Yeah. He asked us, my home, I can't rent it. And he asked me to put it down. And we have the documentation. Yeah. And we not letting me to sell my home, saying that it is in HOA that I cannot display the ad in outside my home. So it took a little over 2.5 years to sell my home. Just 2 days before selling my home, he put a restraint order. Yeah. And then we called the PM office and all that. We complained. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Just took it off. Yeah. And then he removed the restraint order. So why he put? Oh. So he's just threatening me and he's doing. And also, not only he stopped there. My wife's sister, who told my daughter about my daughter, her parking lot, they went, both husband and wife, a doctor. They went and told that, ask your sister and brother-in-law to be quiet. Otherwise, their life won't be peaceful. Your life also won't be peaceful. Yeah. How dare they're threatening us? Yeah.
And, in the story that Jay's telling you guys, because I know that his accent is very thick. And, yes. But
sorry about that.
No, you are okay, Jay. You are a trooper through this right now.
Foundation. He took my 90-acre land. You can see it in Warren County. Right now, you can go and see it in 89.89 acre. He forced and bought me, and he paid only the loan, what is left. He did not even give 1 cent to me. Below the market price, he took it.
Oh, there's.
I have the proof, and you guys can see in the county right now. My name is Jaykantan Sankardas. You can see it. It was on my wife's name, Neeta Jaykantan. I give all the details to you guys. Okay. And any help, I'm ready to come to any media, FBI, CAA, anything you need, any help, I'm ready to share my experience. And this person belongs to jail. He does not belong to live in this place.
And what I want to say right quick to everybody that's listening, we're going to put Jay's story in next week's news article so you can read it and get an understanding of what he has gone through. And how long were you in the Isha Foundation or with the Isha group? How long were y'all a total amount of years?
I was in Germany doing my master's, and I didn't because of this hypnotism process, what he call as inner engineering. Okay. He did that to me, and then I left my master's and come here. And since 2005, I'm in States, where he bought this land in 2006. I'm been with this, where that was Curtistown Road. There is Anthony Drive. He had a mobile home. Since then, I'm coming and going to this foundation, thinking that is genuine Hinduism. So I practice Hinduism, and they also even talk about the thing when I moved here. They said, don't talk to these white people. They talk bad about Jesus and all that. So I feel bad. If I am a Hindu, my God is great. If Christian God is not great, I don't have rights to talk about somebody's belief. Same thing with Muslim or any other religion for that matter. If their religion is not important for themselves, they're telling that they don't know anything. They don't have karma. Our God is good. Lord Shiva is the only God. He's saying that is very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody believes their own thing. He doesn't have a goddamn right to tell anybody to follow. And he changed a lot of Christians into Hinduism and all that, saying that this is the God.
And hold on a minute, Jay. What were you going to say, Vanessa?
First of all, Jay, I would like to thank you for being so brave.
Yeah.
Something that we have not touched on at all because we have been sticking strictly to facts. And I do want to verify that we have seen Jay's deed. We have seen these legal documents. We know they are there.
We have seen the restraining orders.
And if you're following along with the comments, Divine Bond is pointing out different things.
Yes.
And he is trying to lash out at Jay, who is sharing with us. And I would just like to point out that there are all kinds of legal accusations and charges that have been made against Hoggy in India. We have chosen not to discuss those things because there are many open court cases.
There are.
So again, we are not here talking about individuals, characters. We are talking about a man who is abusing the tax code and taking advantage of individuals
like Jay.
And there are many, many stories out there, guys, stories just like Jay, where there has been sexual inappropriateness reported, where they have tried to leave the Isha Foundation and they have been penalized or their properties taken. So there are a lot of things going on up there that
it's
are
sad.
Really sad.
It's sad to hear, his story, the several other ones that have reached out to us as well. Jay is just one of many that have come to us, but we at this time don't feel comfortable unless, like Jay said, he's ready to talk. So I said, okay, we'll call you. And just like anybody else that is listening, as somebody that worked in the domestic violence and sexual assault and emotional at Families in Crisis, I worked there. The only way things stop is when we get together as a group and speak as loud as we can and speak about the facts. If we stay in hiding, nothing will ever change in our world, whether it's what's going on with Jay and these folks, whether it's what's going on in the state or some other issue that is going on in our community. If you want something changed, you cannot just sit there and go to your inner circles and say, Vanessa, like this is off the record, but let's talk about this. And then nothing happens. That's just talk.
And if you come to me, I'm going to say, let's take this talk and let's put it into action.
Yes. There's got to be action now. There needs to be a call to action. And if you are a victim like Jay is and anybody else, my heart, I know Vanessa and a lot of the people that live in the Warren County community are saying, let me tell you, we are here to help you. We are not here to judge you. We are here to lift you up. We are not here to bring you down. We are not going to say, oh, you drank the Kool-Aid and you deserve that. No, sir. No. We are here because the more stories we get, it's going to make a better case to stop it.
And there's a place for you here. If you live there and you're not happy there anymore, there's a place for you in Warren County.
Yes.
You're welcome here.
Yes.
What is not welcome is private business operating under a nonprofit tax status.
And then
I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Go ahead.
What's welcome, what is not welcome here is a cult.
No.
And if you are a cult, please move on.
I want to, Jay, Stacy Hart, a listener that's listening, they're asking, do you still live there? Are you safe now?
I am safe now, but every time I come there, this guy is, the cult leader is using the illegal gun. He is not a U.S. citizen, but he takes a citizen's gun, which is illegal. He have 4 or 5 guns under his bed. He's keeping there. And also he uses drugs and all. I am here, but I don't know how much true it is. He will come after for me for the defamation. But one thing I want to tell you, all of the listeners, that you go to gurumag.com, GURU.MAG.com.
And we'll share that. We'll share that with you guys that he's saying.
Yeah. It is B. Schofield. She did a U.S. journalist. she's a cult intervener. She put a lot of truth about this guy, that this guy particularly raped several people and tried to kill another Indian guru. He bought a weapon and all that. It's all detail are there. And to protect the privacy of all the individuals, she changed the name and put it on this goodandbad.com. Please share that to the
I
viewers.
will. I definitely will, Jay. And is there before, because we're getting close to the end of the show, is there anything you like a lasting words you would like to give our listeners this morning?
I want to know, please be aware of it. Please tell your loved ones, don't go to any kind of cult like this. I don't know now, right now, it made me a big question that is Hinduism is a whole cult, but I don't think so, but still it is made me a big doubt. And I felt bad that why 21 years it took in my life. I wasted my time, my health, wealth, everything he looted. And why this God? If the God really exists, it doesn't matter which God. Which religion God, I don't care. If God is there, why it took me 21 years and even now he kicked me out?
Yeah.
They're spreading that I'm a molester inside their inner circle, the people who lives there.
He
And
said
my
that
wife is
people
a
are
mentally
spreading
retarded.
rumors that he's a molester, just so everybody knows that he said. Go ahead, keep going.
And my wife is a mentally retarded. She's a mental case. She has mental issues. That's what they're spreading. As he have a lot of followers, there are some good-hearted people came to us and told that this is what they're spreading among the thing.
Yeah.
And one last thing I want to tell is any help from Secretary of State, please, whatever information you have, please share it with me so that I can go file a complaint and also I can go to any media in Nashville or Chattanooga. I talk to them.
Okay, buddy.
Absolutely.
I'll call you after the show, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks so
Really
much, Jay.
appreciate it.
Bye. Have a good day,
Have a
bud.
nice day, folks. Yeah, thank you.
And again, I know everybody's saying summarize what he's saying. He has a very thick accent, but he did email us his story. And this is something that me and Vanessa, we weren't going to talk about it until he was ready to talk about it. And he messaged and he says, put me on. So I felt like when it's meant to be, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But you can see Jay's story. And again, there's always two sides to every story. But it's really hard when we see stories online and then we hear it from a horse's mouth. And there's a lot of similarities, guys. And this website or link that we're going to share with you guys in the comments today, he was talking about a lady named B.E. Schofield. And she is a cult investigator. And she done a article with Jay and other people. And like he said, they changed their names to, protect them. And we will share that with you. It's one of the many links that we have gotten that are proven facts that is happening. And I don't know. And again, when you read it, these are stories that have been happening in India and that deal with the Isha Foundation as a whole. And it's not just one place. There are 7 or 8 other organizations that are under the same, that follow the Isha Foundation. They just keep making different new 501c3s, which
again raises questions.
Yes.
If you are a 501c3, then you should have a clear scope, and you shouldn't need to create all these LLCs within your nonprofit. Yeah. You shouldn't, there's just lots of questions, of questions.
And so I did get another message, and I'm trying to go back to it. People are messaging us as we go through, and I'm trying to keep up with everything.
While she's looking for that message, I would just say, please send any questions in that you would like answered. If it's something that I can find through public record, I will certainly try to find that and bring that to the citizens of Warren County.
Yeah.
And again, please, as citizens, be diligent. Be diligent in who you give your money to. Yeah. We Google everything from, how should we front tuck our shirt?
Correct.
So
I've done that.
It's real simple to Google and say, oh, I'm going to give my money to Habitat for Humanity. Let me see how they disperse it.
And we're also going to start sharing hardcore on the links where we find stuff, guys. Canid, gosh, there's so many.
There is so many.
And this is like state federal websites.
Yes.
And so, but if you are like me 10 years ago, where you're like, man, I can't dive into all this. Gosh, it's so much. Because once you start, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so if you want any information or have a question for us, please email or text us at 931-369-3050 with your email or your question, and we will shoot you the information ourselves. Because and again, just like to Divine Bond and John Davis, if you want to reach out to us and ask us questions as well, we've said this a million times. We are asking for clarity, a better understanding. And I also want to end by saying this. We are here to get the answers for everybody here in Warren County, Sequatchie County, Grundy County, and Van Buren County, because this is not just a problem here in Warren County. It's everywhere. It is in Canada. I saw a video yesterday of this psychologist talking about the brainwashing of what the Sadhguru does. And he also gives praise to the B. Schofield ad as well, and has talked to her. There is so many factual evidence out there. You just got to decipher through all the cloudiness to get to the right ones. And so if you want those links, we can send them to you. The time is now. I feel like I got to say this. The time is now, Warren County, Grundy County, Sequatchie County, and Van Buren County. If you have a problem with how people are treating us in this situation with the taxes, and again, my prayers go out to Jay and his family, just like Lanisa says. And I want to end by also saying this. There are so many good people on that mountain that need our help. And if we don't act now, the infrastructure that is fixing to come to our community, we cannot, what's the word? Go with it. Help me out. We cannot accommodate. I'm trying to think of the big words today. Sorry, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to be Vanessa.
We cannot accommodate the vision that they have proclaimed.
This
they
yogic
have
city,
Warren County.
Yes.
Just imagine driving across Highway 8 with 50,000 individual home driveways entering that 2-lane highway. Just think about that in itself. Yeah. We do not have the infrastructure for that 50,000 people, especially if they aren't paying to build it like any other private developer would.
Yes, and we do not have the infrastructure for the electricity or the water. And if they want that, they have to build that. It's like in the Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams. If we build it, they will come, right? So if you build it, we can't say anything, right? So, but again, your voice can be heard on here. And I want to say thanks to everybody that tuned in and watched the show. Again, if you have questions, if you have concerns, please let us know. Because we are not going to stop. I'm already going to say it until they get taxed properly and correctly. And then hopefully, by doing this, there's a trickling and effect for everything else.
Absolutely.
Because the horror stories that we have read, that we have seen, that we have been told, it's got to stop. It does. And again, if everybody believes in the power of prayer,
absolutely,
please say a prayer today. Please put it on your prayer list at churches. Let your church groups know, because we're only 2 people. I told Vanessa this to everybody else. We are just 2 small fish in this big old pond, and we can't be the only ones talking.
Absolutely.
So for all you 40 plus people that watch this show, whether you're for it, against it, or confused, pray, ask questions. You talk, like we did. Not only talk to your state officials, talk to your local officials. I'm telling you, talk to, your sheriff, talk to your, talk to Chief of Police Mosley, talk to Jackie Matheny, talk to all these people. Let them know you're concerned, because the more, we all know this when I say this, the more the people know and the more people we get on this team, we can get it done quicker. And think about it. If me and Vanessa only called the state legislators once a week, think if 50 or 100 call each week. I think that would get some attention.
The squeaky wheel will get greased.
Yes, it will. And if you think that this is a newsworthy story, we have reached out to the Nashville News a month ago. Nothing. So guess what? Maybe if you guys also reach out to Nick Boreas and Phil Williams and all these guys, we have got to get this story out, and we have got to be loud and proud, because we are not criminal investigators. And there is a lot of stuff that needs some criminal investigating, and there needs some auditing to be done, and see some fraudulence being done. Because when I was at the state capitol and listened to that comptroller talk about even busting down schools because money accidentally got taken out and went to somewhere else, we have got to get the right people in the right positions for this. We are just a voice with a computer. That's it.
Yep.
And we can only go so far, because I know eventually we will have to stop, because we only can get so much information. So with that said, if you know anybody up in the legal, in your legal anarchy, if you have somebody legal in your circles, talk to the lawyers, talk to judges, talk. The more we talk, the more it stays relevant. If we stop talking about it, just like and going back to what Dwayne said, like, how did two young ladies get this going and deep dive? Because the stigma about not seeing, if you don't see it, it's not a problem. And again, we need to reverse that. We need to know, because we don't see it. We don't have all the facts, and we want everything. So again, Divine Bond, if you're still listening, if you know Mr. Jaggy himself, Saguru, let him know he's welcome to come on the show. I say this all the time. I don't want an Isha representative now. I want the guru. No. I want, he can either sit in between us and we can ask him questions, and he's welcome to answer them or not. Or we can send a link and he can be in his meditation office room, whatever. And we can do Visa satellite from that way. Or he can go on a phone call, just like Jay did. Yes. I will take it any form or fashion, but you have to come to us.
And not a representative. We're not interested in your program. We're interested in your coding.
Yeah.
And Kelly, I would like to throw this out there for anyone who's feeling scared or frightened.
Yeah.
This is a man. This is just a man.
That brushes his teeth.
Yes.
Puts his pants on.
Puts on his garments.
Yeah.
The same way that we do. Yes. He sells a service.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. He chose to be a part of a nonprofit. So he chose to have the financial records open to the public. So if you are scared, or if you have information and you just don't want to share it, please remember, we are all human beings.
Yes.
We are all valuable. And whether you have $100 million in the bank or you are overdrawn, you matter.
Yes.
And we should not be fearful of someone who has put themselves at the head of an organization.
Yeah, I totally agree. So with that said, we're going to end with a prayer, because I think we should pray for Jay's family. Absolutely. And all the people up at Isha. And if anybody, wants to, send good vibes, I always say this is open to everybody, whether you believe in God or not. We are that, again, I'm always about agreeing to disagreeing, because, it's okay if you don't believe. I'm not going to banish you. That's what me and Jay have had numerous talks, because he's having that struggle because of the 21 years. And whether he believes in God at the end of this, I still pray for him and just hope that he gets as many blessings as he can on this earth, So, because that's what I think a Christian should do. So, with that said, I'm going to do a quick prayer. So, everybody bow your heads or just look at the screen, whatever. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for what you've given us. Thank you for letting us walk around the sun once again this beautiful morning. Please be in prayer for Jay and Isha and any of the members or non-members that are affected by this. We lift them, and if they need any guidance, God, let them know that there are people in the Warren County community that are here for them, and there's no judgment. And with that said, God, we just love everything you do. Please be with us as we finish out the weekend. Be with everybody that's traveling. And just remember, guys, and be with everybody and remind them how awesome they are to be on this earth. And I want to say a prayer to my girl Vanessa here for, being at the right place at the right time and just feeling led to do what we do here at Warren First. And in your name, amen. Amen. Yeah, that's how I pray, guys. It's a little off, but I don't like praying all the time out loud. I do it in my head because it sounds better.
He hears them all.
He hears them all. I mean, he made me, so he knew my mess ups. So, but with that said, guys, take care. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, Warren County, you are first. All right.